Okay. Sairam, everyone. Uh, Today, I think this is what we're going to talk about. And actually, first of all, before I start, this session wouldn't have been possible without Narasimha Swamiji's help and contributions, what he has done for us. And also Jayesh Bhai, who's there with us right now. All this is because of both of them. And I will try to walk you all the devotees through this great devotee today, which is we're going to talk about Shri Kashinath Govind Upasni urf Upasni Maharaj, right? And I think today's session and following sessions, we are going to continue because there's a lot of information about Upasni Baba which not many people are aware of. And the references in Poti are also very fleeting, right? They're like uh, very few references in Poti and elsewhere. And we're going to see that Upasni Baba or Upasni Maharaj was a very different type of devotee. So before we start, you know, this is the screen I collected, some of the devotees. There are a lot of Babas favorite and famous devotees. But this is the Hall of Fame. Now, there is a reason why I created this slide. And if you see, there are 3 rows of devotees, the top row, middle row, and the bottom row. And again, this is my interpretation, based on my uh, reading through Baba's devotees' experiences, and all different devotees have come to this platform, talked about their forefathers. The top row, if you can see, there is actually a grouping of devotees. If you see the top row where you have Nachne ji, Dev Sahib, Nimonkar, Nulkar ji, Chandrokar, Tarkhan ji, and we can add Dikshi ji, all there. These were devotees. They were very close to Baba, for sure, right? They loved Baba a lot, but at the same time, they were in their worldly affairs also. They all, most of the people, many of them held high positions in their professions. They had accomplished a lot. They will visit Baba very frequently. They will keep saying, Baba, we want to, what can we do so that we stay with you forever, right? uh, but but there was one thing. Baba never told any of these folks, any of these devotees, तरखंड जी, नुलकर जी, नाचने जी और देव साहिब, तुम छोड़ दो अपना सब कुछ और यहाँ आ जाओ मेरे साथ, तप करो, साधना करो. Never ever said to them. And rather he would say, you continue, keep doing your karmas, and you know see that you do truthfully, and everything will be fine with all of you. Rather, साथे जी फॉर एग्जांपल, साथे वाला जिनका है, साथे जी की बाबा ने दोबारा मैरिज कराई. ही डिडंट हैव अ सन. एंड तो साथे जी को, बाबा साथे जी को साहिब कहते थे. तो कहते साहिब शादी करेगा तो होगा बच्चा. तो देन ही गॉट हिम मैरिड टू दादा केलकर्स डॉटर. नाचनी जी इज द सेम केस. उनकी मैरिज उन्होंने दोबारा कराई ताकि उनके और ही कैन हैव हिज मोर चिल्ड्रन, राइट? Tarkhan ji, he actually came to Baba at a very young age, and after that he got married. He had kids, right? And there is a question that after going through such spiritual upliftment, how can one get into worldly affairs? But we don't have the answer. Baba only knows this, right? So now you come to the second row of devotees, which has Das Ganuji, Atkarji, Bhishamji, Shannan Swamiji, Nana Sahib Rasne. Uh, these are the devotees who who were close to, who were more close towards Vairagya. So I'll take the example of Adkarji, right? So we had Adkarji family came here, and we all heard how Madhav Rao Adkarji, all of you guys know who he wrote the Sai Baba Aarti. He will come to Baba Shirdi very frequently, and his leaving his wife, family over there, and then his father-in-law came once to Shirdi and told Baba, Baba, ये क्या है? अटकर जी को बोलो कि वापस आए, wife के पास and all that stuff, so that he can take care of his family. But Atkar ji had a very strong inclination towards, uh, sadhana and coming to Baba. But Baba said, Atkar को कहा कि जाओ वापस जाओ. Rather, he said, next year when you come three, you will have a kid. And same with Bhisham ji, right? Bhisham ji, Shannanand Swami ji, and Nana Sahib Rasne, we heard a lot from Rasne ji, right? He devoted all his life. He used to live in Shirdi in his, last years. But still they were in the worldly affairs. So the second row of devotees, they are more towards Vairagya. They had more inclination towards this compared to the first rows. This doesn't say much. It's just that, you know, that's the characteristics of these devotees, and Baba proved both of these devotees. Now we come to the bottommost row of devotees, right? These were the devotees, and there are a few handful of devotees whom Baba actually, they got spiritual upliftment towards Vairagya under his guidance. Baba pulled them out of the worldly affairs. Upasni Maharaj is one of them. Radha Krishna Mai, we heard, earlier in the episodes about Radha Krishna Mai, how she has left everything for Baba, and Baba proved that. And starting today, this episode, we'll hear about Upasni Baba, how he also was in a family, he had a family, he had all the things what other devotees had, but Baba pulled him out of that and said, no, you are meant for something else, and you should continue towards this path. So this slide primarily I wanted to share with all the devotees that this is again my personal interpretation, right? That Baba had different types of devotees. Some were towards worldly, some were vairagya, and this all happens I think in my, my understanding, limited knowledge. It's because of our purv karma. Everything comes at the right time, right? So Upasni Baba was one of those devotees who was, who inherited lot of siddhis, who did extreme vairagya, and we'll see in his ups and downs in his life, his endurance through his life, and how he visited Shirdi, all these things. So before we get into Upasni Baba, let's take Baba's name.
ॐ साईनाथं च तच्छिष्यं श्री उपासनि सद्गुरुं देवीं गोदावरीं चैव वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्री उपासनिनाथाय गुरवे चित्स्वरूपिणे सर्वदेवाधिमूलाय भक्तस्योद्धारिणे नमः। श्री उपासनि देवस्य योगमाये तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोऽस्तु ते।
Okay, so here, on the left is Upasni Baba in his late years. The first picture that you saw was in young years. And what you see on the right of Baba is Godavari Mataji. Godavari Mataji was Upasni Baba's first shishya, and also the, whom Upasni Baba made his spiritual next person, right? So now, Most of us goes to Shirdi. I think we will lose a big opportunity of not seeing where Upasni Baba made his ashram and all that. So Upasni Baba in 1917 started living in Sakori, and he, after that, subsequent years, there was an ashram built. Lot of it became into a decent sized town. And I'm not sure how many of you know, in Sakori, Upasni Baba Samadhi is there. In addition to that, Bapu Sahib Jog ki Samadhi bhi Sakori mein hai. So if you all remember, बापू साहिब जोग जो थे वो बाबा की आरती करते थे. सबसे पहले जो आरती हुई वो नूलकर जी ने शुरू की, उनकी ड्यूटी लगाई. फिर जब वो चले गए, मेघा ने किया. मेघा के बाद फिर बापू साहिब जोग की बारी आई. तो बापू साहिब जोग बाबा की आरती करते थे हमेशा. और we will discuss in subsequent sessions ki you wouldn't know that Upasni Baba is one of the only devotees, I would say. I don't know any other devotee कि जिसको बाबा ने अपने डिवोटीज को कहा कि जाओ उसकी पूजा करो, उसकी आरती करो. And that's how Bapu Sahib Jog ended up in Sakori. And we'll discuss more. तो सकोरी में बापू साहिब जोग की समाधि है, उपासनी बाबा की समाधि है. इट्स अ रियली नाइस डिवाइन प्लेस. नाउ before we get into the Jeevani life history of Upasni Baba, all that stuff, I thought it will be good if we can share where is Sakori and some short clips what Jayesh Bhai was able to assemble. So we'll show you guys that.
उपासनीनाथाय गुरवे चित्स्वरूपिणे सर्वदेवाधिमूलाय भक्तस्योद्धारिणे नमः. श्री 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 उपासनी देवस्य योगमाय तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोस्तुते. श्री उपासनी देवस्य योगमाय तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोस्तुते. श्री उपासनी देवस्य योगमाय तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोस्तुते. श्री उपासनी देवस्य योगमाय तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोस्तुते. श्री उपासनी देवस्य योगमाय तपस्विनी कन्याकुमारी कल्याणी गोदावरी नमोस्तुते.
Okay, so as you've seen, Sakori is very close to Shirdi. When you folks go to Shirdi, it's only 10 minutes Tonga ride towards Rata side on the Pune highway. So now we'll get into the life journey of Upasni Baba. Now that we have known Sakori background and the different kind of devotees. So when was he born? He was born way back in 1870, right? And he came from a very Uch Koti Brahmin family, right? He was born in Satana. It's a, district, Nashik district in Maharashtra, right? Most of the devotees we see that are, Baba, they are born within Maharashtra district. And Upasni Baba's, father was Govindji Gopal Shastri, and his mother was Rukmini Mata. They were both very pious, right? Actually, the whole family will discuss, they were very, his grandfather was very religious, and they held very high positions in terms of spiritualism in the society. When, it is always there when the divine souls are born, even before birth there are signals, and that was the same case with Upasni Maharaj. So when Upasni's Maharaj mother was expecting, so during that time she was taken to Uddhav Maharaj in Nashik for blessings. And a very strange thing happened there. When she went there, she all of a sudden became unconscious, and when she was unconscious she heard sounds from her womb. उनको अंदर से आवाज आई कि because of your bhakti and pure devotion, I Ram have chosen you as a mother. And when Rukmini Mataji came out of unconsciousness, she became अपने होश में आई, तो उद्धव महाराज जी, he was smiling at her and said, have you seen Ram Prabhu, and did you recall your vision? So this is one of the signals that Upasni's Maharaj birth in this on this earth was destined to do something really big, right? So right from beginning, we'll talk that his family was very pious. So his grandfather Gopal Shastri ji, he was very knowledgeable in scriptures. Basically this whole family was like family priests. And his grandfather, he wrote devotional poetry on Uddhav, and he was chief advisor to King of Baroda during that time, right? They were kings and princes of that time. He was chief advisor to King of Baroda. His father, Govind Shastri ji, and, Gopal Shastri ji, grandfather was, staying in Satana. And Upasni Baba stayed with his grandfather until the age of 22. And his father, Govind Shastriji, he was in Dhulia. He was a fee clerk in court. And in his pastime, he used to do astrology, and he was also very popular during that time. And among his brothers, there were 5 sons. Upasni Baba was second of the 5 sons. And the eldest brother, Balkrishna Shastriji, he was another great pious person. He was expert in Sanskrit. He was again so famous that most of the kings and prince during those times, they used to consult him on all the issues related to dharma. So in a nutshell, this whole family was very pious, and it is but obvious that this entire thing, religious thing, it was passed on to Pasni Maharaj also. So he was taught by his father and grandfather all the Rudras, chant, Vedic scriptures, Purans, all that stuff. But there was a twist that Upasni Baba, right from beginning, he did not have any inclination towards studies. And he went to school, the teachers and him, they didn't go well, because his main inclination right to from beginning was do tap, sadhana, meditation. He will go to burial grounds, cemetery, and sit there for hours and hours. and recite Vishnu Sastranam and yogas. He was doing pranayam. He was an expert right from beginning. And this is all not a surprise, because we know his right from before birth. We had signals like this. But this had a different impact on him, because he, at the age of 14, this impacted his studies, this impacted his you know capability to get jobs. And because he couldn't get jobs, you know he tend to develop a feeling that he was useless to his family, because when he sees his elder brother and other siblings and people, they are very famous, earning well. But here Upasni Baba is unable to get anything. He you know he will he will always envision himself sitting on top of a hill, doing tap, compared to his peers who are studying and maybe playing sports in the schools. So he had this kind of feeling inside him that I'm useless to my family, and what can I do? So at the age of 14, what his parents decided was, it's a quite young age, but at that during those days, this was norm. He got married to a 8-year girl named Durga Bai. And this was like, his parents thought that if we get him married, things will settle down. He will have responsibility. He will look for things, but etc. etc. But actually, what happens in contrast, things gets worse, because now he had one more person to support. And his inclination, he was very clear right from beginning what he wants to do. So he he looked for jobs. He tries to spend time, but it didn't work out. Then he went to his father's place in Dhulia, and there he also didn't enjoy studying, and rather he would go to underground caves and do meditation. So he was kind of frustrated, and he one day he left the home. So he wrote a letter and left home for good. And he ran 10 miles. He literally ran 10 miles just to make sure nobody will catch him and bring him back to home, because he really wanted to go away from all these worldly things. And then he reached Nasik. And but there's a difference here, I would say. Now I want to share that you would observe that you would see that although Pasni Baba during this time he wanted to do all these Vairagya things, but he still had a string attached to his family, to these worldly affairs. And that you will see as I quote instances, some examples. So when he reached Nasik, he felt, he started thinking about his family. Jayesh bhai, can you go mute, please?
Yeah.
So when he reached Nasik, right, he left home because he wanted to do, you know, tap, sadhana, and spiritualism, all that stuff. But he started thinking about his family. What will they think? What will society think? So he wrote a letter back to them that I'm in Nasik with my friends. And but his parents had accepted the fact that he he's gone. Our son is gone. He wanted to do something else. But then after 2 months, he got a letter in Nasik that his mother is ill. So he still had emotions, feelings, and he immediately went back to Satana. And shortly after he reached there, his mother was ill. But shortly after that, his wife also expired, his first wife, right? And here, I would like you to remember in Poti, there is an instance, a Chennai sadhu came to Baba, and he wanted to go to Mansarovar and other places. And Baba said, you cannot go. You still are tied to, the worldly affairs. He got a letter from his mother that she was sick, and he said, Baba, I want to go back. Baba said, what? No going back, stay here, right? So the point I'm trying to make is Upasni Baba had inclination, but he still had strings attached to the worldly affairs. And there is a reason for that. We'll see, in the later on. So his wife Durga Bai expired, and well, guess what? Right? I mean, family, I guess, didn't learn from the first time, and they forcefully and he again felt miserable. And first few years of his second marriage he spent in Pune. He used to do menial jobs. He will actually beg for food also, and he will be sleeping on the outside. And in last days in Pune, when he was in Pune, he was last days he was staying in Dharamshala in temple, along with other, there were other impoverished people also. And he will stay without food for many days, and he will try to fill his hunger with drinking water and all this stuff. And I think one thing to note is, uh, you would see, as I quote these examples, that Upasni Baba had really toughened his body through endurance, through tap, through yoga, right? Although he had a string attached to the worldly affairs, right? And this is one of the key things, based on my limited knowledge, that you need to do that if you want to reach to the highest state, right? So Upasni Baba used to think that body is our biggest enemy, right? We do everything for this body. So he will really, uh, you know, take, extreme endurance, without food for many days, drink water. But, he had the limits because he wasn't right at the top, because he needed a real guru that we'll see. So what he found was that he met a lady, a noble lady came to Pune, and she saw him that he was really hungry for many days, so she gave him food. And the first day she gave him a lot of food, and Upasni Baba was very hungry. He ate it. The next day that lady came with the same amount of food and told Upasni Baba, every day I will give you more and more food, whatever you want, let me know. And Upasni Baba saw that his other, fellows in the temple Dharamshala, impoverished people, they didn't have food also. So the next day, what he did was he gave all the food to the, his fellow impoverished people. And the following days also he did the same thing. So the point here is that Upasni Baba had a big heart and samta, right, for others. So he used to following days, he used to keep hungry and will give food to his fellow people. So from there, Pune, he didn't get any job, no luck. He went to Kalyan. So he thought maybe, in Kalyan, which is near Mumbai, he will have, he may find some jobs. And there also he couldn't. He will go to Brahmins homes and ask for bhiksha, but nothing happened. But there, he met a old Marathi lady, which gave him a message that really struck Upasni Baba. And what that message was: maintain your life even with water and other things if needed. Love God and bear your lot. Be patient in misfortunes and spurn the smiles of fortune. Break the bonds of desire, but never leave the company of saints. So that really stuck Upasni Baba, and Upasni Baba ने कहा कि कुछ भी हो जाए, मैं सहन करूंगा, जो भी होगा, I will keep enduring. And from there, he decided, okay, I will go back to Satana, right? Because he didn't find anything. His wife was there. So he planned to go back. And on his way back, Nashik was there, right? And as I said, he was really, his main goal, he was always envisioning, where can I sit in solitude and do some tap, meditation. So in Nasik, he found a cave which was really inaccessible. Even koi pashu pakshi bhi wahan nahi ja sakta. It was so steep, surrounded by all the bushes and all that stuff. So Pasni Baba said, this is the right place. He somehow got into that cave and, sat there meditating, doing his stuff. He, he sat for a few days, but actually we'll see that few days are not few days, but that were few months later, he realized. So once he came out of that tub, his lips were parched, thirsty, dry, his limbs were very stiff, and he wanted water. And Mother Nature knew, and there was, all of a sudden, there was a huge downpour, and somehow that downpour, the water stream, made its way into that cave. And Upasni Baba took the water and quenched his thirst and all that stuff. And few hours later, or few days later, actually, he had a vision. And what was the vision was that, he's going to a stream, he's trying to get water out of the stream with his hands, when he sees two figures standing right next to each other. One is Hindu, one is Muslim. And those two figures are telling him what they did. They pulled all of his skin and they said, look inside you, you have a divine body. Why you want to die? So another thing is, when what he wanted to do in meditation in the cave was that, I wanted to sit here and see if death comes. So or God bows to me. So he was very fascinated or very impressed with sage Vishwamitra in our Purans, that because Vishwamitra, he did really kathor tap, and God has to bow before Vishwamitra, and that is a fact, right? God bows before you if you really do kathor tap. So he wanted to do the same. So that was one of the objectives why he wanted to pursue in this sadhana. So but these two figures told uh, you know in the vision of Upasni Baba that you have a divine body. We are not going to let you die. You have a bigger objective to achieve in this life, right? So this really changed Upasni Baba, and he started thinking that, I have a bigger objective to do. What is that objective? uh, and he kept thinking, and he returned home. And when he returned home, he realized that the samadhi he did was not for few days, it was for many months, right? So, and this really changed him, because he was getting uplifted gradually with these visions, getting divine signs that you are meant for something else. And when he reached home, unfortunately, his father passed away. His grandfather was very ill, and his second wife also passed away in few days. And while they were doing the treatment for grandfather, there was a lot of debt, and they have to take on the debt to pay for his treatment, both his elder brother Balkrishna and him. And in the few days, his grandfather also passed away. But this really put a lot of burden on Upasni Baba, that what do I do next, right? So here is, things change really drastically on the uphill thing. So he went to Sangli. He said, I'm going to learn Sanskrit and Ayurvedic medicine so that I can start my practice. So he went to Sangli to learn that, and he opened his first medical Ayurvedic practice in Amravati. And who helped him open his first Ayurvedic practice was Kharpadeji. Yes, same Kharpadeji, who was Baba's devotee, who was very close to him. He helped him in Amravati because he was living in Amravati. He opened his Ayurvedic practice, and before that, got married again, by the way, so he had a third wife, and his practice really went very well. He had patented medicines. He it was going so well that he opened another practice, Ayurvedic shop in Nagpur also. So both husband and wife, they were living very nice life in contrast to the previous days. These were the good days. They have accumulated a lot of wealth, lot of land, right? But Upasni Baba kept thinking about those two figures, and his main objective in life. Am I What am I doing? Is this Am I gonna get buried in this worldly affairs? Is that what I'm meant for? What about my tap? What about my sadhana? So this is the same thing. So what happened is that he wasn't satisfied because his goal was different. So, and he was accumulating a lot of wealth. So what he did was, he invested his wealth. He went into malguzri. Malguzri is zamindari during those times, right? They will have big lands and tenants, and so he closed down all his practice and invested all his money in buying lands. He bought 2,000 acres of land, and he hired peasants, farmers to do their farming, and he rented some of the land. And his goal was, they will pay him the money and he will pay to the authorities. But unfortunately, he wasn't destined to do all this stuff, because he was destined to do something really big in spiritual world. He lost all his money. And what happened was, all the previous from where जो पुराने जमींदार थे जिनसे उन्होंने land खरीदी थी, they were hostile to him. Also, during those times, if you buy land in other areas, if you're not from that area, people are not comfortable. So they all stopped paying money to him. And because of that, he couldn't pay anything to the authorities, and he lost all his money. And he tried to revive his practice in Amravati and Nagpur Ayurvedic practice, but with no luck, right? Because he had lost his money and all that stuff. So he and his wife, right? I think this was the first time in his life where they were doing very well. He had really gone through a lot of downturns in his life. His wife was there, right? They were doing very well, but unfortunately, it didn't last too long, right? So he and his wife, they went to a pilgrimage. They went to Gauri Shankar Mandir in, Omkareshwar. So what you're seeing on here, this is the Gauri Shankar Mandir, and inside that there is a very big lingam. It's like very huge. It's the circumference. जिसका circumference of that itself is 11 feet, and the height of this lingam is 6 feet. And remember, Upasni Baba was very expert in all the Hatha Yoga, Pranayama, meditation, all that stuff. So both husband, wife, they went there, of course, praying for, blessings that everything should be fine. We have been doing well. So his wife sat on one corner, one end of the lingam. Upasni Baba sat on other end of the lingam, and they start praying. And what happens is, in a few minutes, Upasni Baba started doing pranayam and all that stuff, and he collapsed. He fainted. And his wife was, very scared. What happened? Maybe he's under, we are going through turn. So she brought water and all that splash. But, this is really miraculous that he got conscious. Upasni Baba became conscious. But what she observed was that although Upasni Baba became conscious, but his breathing and his respiratory system stopped. उपासनी बाबा बैठे हुए थे, बट वो सांस नहीं ले रहे थे, और उनका और रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम कुछ नहीं चल रहा था. That was really strange. I mean, and they were scared. What what is happening? I mean, am I going to die because I'm not breathing? This is a temporary thing and all that stuff. So this condition persisted with him after they came back to Nagpur. They doctor ko dikhaya, Vaid ko dikhaya, but nobody can help with any of these things. So he was really worried. He thought he's gonna die soon, and his wife is there. He doesn't have any wealth. How is she is gonna survive, right? All that kind of stuff. So he said, I don't want to, bother my family during my last days. He already had thought that he's gonna die. So he said, I'm not gonna bother my family in my last days. So I'm gonna look for a yogi or some sant who can fix this. Because now also it's true, but during those days, you would have read in a lot of scriptures, it is mentioned that whenever you have some ailment, right, अगर महापुरुष और संत की कंपनी हो जाती है, उनके दर्शन हो जाते हैं, तो वो सब चला जाता है. That's what Upasni Baba wants to do. He said, I want to look for that Mahapurush who can fix this thing. So he went in search of a yogi who can fix his ailments. So उनके साथ उन्होंने 2 लड़के भी भेज दिए कि जो कि उनको हेल्प कर सके रास्ते में. But very after few days only, Upasni Baba sent those 2 boys back home, and he was all by himself. And another peculiar thing is that Upasni Baba, because of these breathing things, he had a belching belly. He had a protruding belly. Otherwise, his body was very thin, slim, but his body was belching. And there's a reason why I'm telling you, because later you're gonna see reference to this thing. So he went to Rahuri, and there he met Yogi Kulkarni, who who received Upasni Baba. एंड उपासनी बाबा ने उनको ये बातें बताई कि ऐसे मेरी ब्रीदिंग की प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है, रुक जाती है. एंड योगी कुलकर्णी जी said that you are lucky. This is like the advanced stage of Hatha yoga, and not many people able to achieve it. You achieved that. So that's not a problem, and it will go away on its own. But Upasni Baba, he wasn't very satisfied. He said, I'm gonna die. What can I do? So then Yogi Kulkarni ji said, okay, if that's the case, why don't you meet Avalya Shri Sainath Maharaj in Shirdi? So Upasni Baba जो थे वो तो उच्च कोटि के, और यहाँ योगी कुलकर्णी उनको बोल रहे हैं कि एक मुस्लिम संत के पास जाओ. तो he that never struck with him. He said, he inside said, that's not gonna work. So he immediately ran away from there, searching for the right saint who can help him. So he was in Rahuri. He was rambling here, udhar ja rahe the, and he felt thirsty. So एक stream थी वहां पर थी. उसके पास उनको एक, all of a sudden he met an old man. So old man asked him, what's the issue? And Upasni Baba didn't pay much attention, like, what is he gonna do? So he said to him that don't drink cold water, drink hot water. That should fix your problem. But Upasni Baba, ignored him. He's an old man. I need a yogi who can, help me. So he kept looking for that, and he went to Jejuri. So Jejuri is a place 150 kilometers from Rahuri. And there he was looking for some yogi who can help him. And he went to a stream, एक tributary या थोड़ी सी उनको, he was thirsty. He went to a stream. He put his hand into the stream, हाथ से पानी पीना. All of a sudden, the same old man whom he saw in Rahuri, he appeared before him. And he said, didn't I tell you not to drink cold water? Why don't you drink hot water? Otherwise, it will not fix your problem. So Upasni Baba was really, surprised that, who's he? How did he come here all of a sudden? Has he been following me? But then he thought, okay, maybe I should follow his advice. So he went near the nearby village, and he he went to one house, and he asked for hot water. And guess what? From day 2, his ailment was improving. We'll see later on who was this old man. This will all manifest. All this story will manifest itself. Another thing is the house that Upasni Baba went in Jejuri, they were close devotees of Baba, Sai Baba of Shirdi. Okay. So जेजूरी से अब उपासनी बाबा को फर्क होना शुरू हो गया. उन्होंने कहा ओके आई थिंक दिस इज वर्किंग नाउ, सो मे बी आई शुड रिटर्न बैक होम. सो ऑन हिज वे बैक he wanted to see, you know, खेड़गांव महाराज, नारायण महाराज ऑफ खेड़गांव, तो मुंबई में थे, तो वो वहां गए. And this is another, like all these saints are connected, right? So नारायण महाराज के पास आए और नारायण महाराज उपासनी बाबा को कहते, you don't need to come here, there's nothing to talk, there's no business, you don't need to talk, your business is completed, and you are you're colored from inside as well as outside. You know, this cryptic language he spoke, and Upasni Maharaj thought maybe he's saying business is complete, ki my health has improved, but how did he know, right? So he didn't, he didn't understand, but he said okay, and then he moved on. He has already written letter to his family in Satana that I'm returning back. My health is improving and all that kind of stuff. So on his way back, he wanted to, see Yogi Kulkarni again. He said, and Yogi Kulkarni ji asked him the same question. Did you visit Shirdi Sai Baba? Right? Did you visit Shirdi Sai Baba? So I wanted to bring, I wanted to bring to your attention, see, this is all connected. This is a story weaved by a bigger divine power, in this case, which is Baba of Shirdi Baba, Sai Baba, right? If you see, recollect how Tarkhanji's mother headache was there. Tarkhanji's mother, there was a severe headache. And Tarkhanji's family was a family of doctors. His grandfather was a doctor of Viceroy of England during that time in India, big doctor, right? They couldn't fix it. So what happened? They went to this Pir Maulana Sahib in Bandra, Mumbai. He said, you want to get it fixed? Go to my brother in Shirdi, Sai Baba, right? So the point I'm trying to make is Baba weaves all these stories, and these saints are all connected, and they will pull you out to Baba. And that's what was happening with Upasni Maharaj. He was given, Yogi Kulkarni early said, okay, jao Baba ke paas jao. Nahi. Fir then, he went to Narayan Maharaj. He said, your business is done. He didn't get the signal. And then when Yogi Kulkarni said again, did you visit Baba, Sai Baba? So Pasni Maharaj said, okay, I mean, he's asking me, once, twice, maybe I should go there. So Upasni Maharaj finally stepped into Shirdi on June 27th, 1911. And, our Baba is great, he shows miracles to the devotees right in the initial days. So this is really interesting. Upasni Baba goes to Dwarka Mai, and he was really intrigued by how devotees were praying Baba. Hindus devotees were coming, and Baba was perceived Muslim, and Aarti was happening, right? All that stuff. So after 2 days, Upasni Baba said, he said, okay, that's good. I have met him. Now I should probably return back to my home. My wife is there, all my family, right? So he went to Baba and said, Baba, I want to go back home now. And Baba said, no, that's not possible. You can't go home. If you have to leave, you have to come back after 8 days. or you do not leave. So बाबा ने उनको दो ऑप्शन दी, या तो तुम यहीं रहो, या अगर तुम्हें जाना है तो तुम 8 दिन के बाद वापस आओ. Both these options were not possible for Upasni Maharaj, because he can't live here. He has a family, his wife is waiting, he has written letter, mother, all that stuff. Because remember, I'm telling he liked this sadhana and stuff, but he is attached to his worldly families, all that stuff. And second option, coming after 8 days again to Shirdi, it's not financially possible, because Shirdi and it's not that close from Satana. So both these options were not possible for him. So like many devotees, they don't listen to Baba. And Pasni Maharaj also left after 2 days. He didn't pay what Baba said, so he left it. So, and this is where things really get interesting. So he left Shirdi, and he kept rambling. वो इधर से उधर जाते रहे, और he couldn't reach any further than कोपरगांव. कोपरगांव जो है वो 8 माइल है शिरडी से. कोपरगांव is 8 miles from Shirdi. He couldn't go any further for some reason. And कोपरगांव में जब वो वहां पहुंचे, तो वहां पर एक ग्रुप आया हुआ था डिवोटीज का, जो कि शिरडी जा रहे थे बाबा से मिलने. उन्होंने उपासनी बाबा को देखा, और उपासनी बाबा उनके साथ उनकी टोली में मिलकर शामिल होकर वापस शिरडी आ गए. तो वो शिरडी किसी उनको भी नहीं पता वो कैसा है. तो वो शिरडी में द्वारका माई आ गए. तो बाबा कहते, अरे पंडित, तू डिड यू लीव शिरडी? बाबा उपासनी बाबा को पंडित कहते, बिकॉज ही वाज. सो डिड यू लीव? ही सेड यस. व्हेन डिड यू लीव? ही सेड थर्सडे. व्हाट टाइम? ही सेड 3 p.m. What day is today? He said Thursday. Time 3. So he came back exactly after 8 on the 8th day back to Shirdi. Okay. Upasni Baba got the message. That was the first thing where he saw this is no, what I was thinking, this is a Muslim saying all this, and this is really some great divine soul who didn't let me go outside of neighborhood of Shirdi, and I came back. And he kept thinking about that. So I think we have more to cover, but that's what I wanted to cover this time, that today, that how Upasni Baba ended up in Shirdi. And things get really more interesting कि अब शिरडी में तो आ गए हैं, और बाबा ने उनको अपना पहला चमत्कार दिखा दिया है. अब आगे उनकी फैमिली है वहां सताना में, वाइफ है, और खंडोबा मंदिर में, you must have heard that Upasni Baba spent most of time in Khandoba Mandir. So how did he end up in Khandoba Mandir? How did he go to Sakori? How did he get all his spiritual upliftment? Bapu Saija, all that stuff. We'll continue in subsequent sessions. So before I do,
श्री सच्चिदानंद सद्गुरु साईनाथ महाराज की जय.
So this closes our first adhyaya of Upasni Maharaj. Upasni Baba के बारे में there's a lot of information. Again, I'm sure Baba is making making sure I'm truthful. I'm not like, digressing. But this is not something, like other devotees like Chandrokar ji, Nimonkar ji, ye hua, right? He knows Baba has weaved this, that you have to come here. This is how you have to come here and all that stuff. So I think, I didn't monitor the chat board for any questions, and I'm looking right now. Yeah, okay, so I don't think there is any question other than the volume, so I'll make sure. So I think we'll close this session, and before we close, we'll do Baba's Aarti, and next session, we'll see how Upasni Baba's stay in Shirdi was there. It wasn't an easy stay for Upasni Baba in Shirdi, remember? So we will see, he wasn't very welcomed by, the villagers, because he was a new guy around the block, and Baba had really high respect, high thing for him, and that because that's why he didn't want him to go outside of Shirdi. And how Baba gave him spiritual lessons, and what he how he gave him the signals that you and me have known each other for thousands of years, right? Like Baba used to tell to Shama and other devotees, right? And how I've been coming to you again and again in your this life itself. And this is very similar to Tarkhanji, you would see, right? When Tarkhanji, Jyotinder Tarkhanji, ईरानी होटल में खाना खा के वहां पे एक फकीर आया, उसने उनसे दक्षिणा मांगी, उन्होंने जतिन तरखंड जी ने उनको दे दी। और जब वो शिरडी में आए तो बाबा ने कहा, अरे ये देख, ये भाऊ जानता है ये पैसा जो तूने दिया था मुझे, देन ही रिकलेक्टेड। सो दैट्स व्हाट वी आर गोना सी कि कैसे बाबा उपासनी महाराज के पास आए जा रहे थे, और he will give those miracles. So with that, let's start the aarti. I'll stop the recording.